In 1983, the band Eurythmics, which members include the great singer Annie Lennox and her then ex-boyfriend Dave Stewart, they released a song called Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. This song had tremendous success, and so much so that still today we very frequently hear that song on the radio. Now let's forward 20 years when another legendary artist released a great song. The name of the artist is Jack White. The song is Seven Nations Army. And it was performed with his band, the White Stripes. Now, why am I talking about those two songs? Because not too long ago, in 2019, another great band that does great covers, the band's name is Pomplamoose. I don't know if I pronounce it right, but they do great covers. They have a very strong presence on YouTube and on the internet. Just go and check out their channel. They do a lot of covers and also original songs. Well, they created a mashup with those two songs, and it's a great one. Their performance features a woman called Sarah. In French, we would say Sarah Dugas. In English, I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Sarah Douglas. Anyways, she's a great singer as well. And so they created a great mashup. So the way that Pomplamoose does this mashup is really interesting. Usually in a mashup, you go from one song to the other, then back to the first one, then back to the second one, and so forth. They do that, but they take it a bit further. They also mix the music and the lyrics from both songs. So they start with the music from Seven Nation Army, but they use the lyrics from the Eurythmics song. So it sounds a little bit like this. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world in the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Something like this, alright? It's pretty hard to play and sing at the same time, alright? So now in the second verse, they used the music from Eurythmics, but the lyrics from the Seven Nations Army song. So let me try it. I'm gonna fight 'em off. Seven Nation Army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off. So it's a great song, all right? So I can't really play and sing at the same time, but you get the point, right? And that's what they're doing. All right, so now I'm going to show you how we play those two bass lines. So for the Seven Nation Army bass line, this is what it is. All right. So these are the notes that it uses. They are taken from the C natural minor scale or the C Aeolian scale. All right, so so this is it's the C natural minor. So we start with the C. So I'm not sure if I said it, but originally it starts on the E. All right, so this is how the real song is played. All right, but for the mashup, the Pomplamoose uses the C chord. All right, so C minor chord. All right, so we start on C, go to the E flat, go back to the C, B flat, A flat, and G. All right. right? Okay, and for the Eurythmics bass line, we start with a C twice and then go up the octave to the other C right here, all right? Go up to the E flat and then back to the C, then the A flat twice, so A flat, this is B flat, C, then twice the G, so G, G, F, G, and that's it, and then we start over. Alright, and of course there are bridges that are not complicated at all. I'm not even gonna get into that. Now what I'm gonna be working on from a technical point of view to progress as a bass player, in the Eurythmics sequence or bass line that goes like this. Now, all right, now it might not look like it, but I had some difficulty with this part. Going from the C to the E flat, back to the C, and keep the tempo. I've always had issues with going from one part of the neck to the other. So I had to, there are ways to practice this. And one suggestion is to, instead of, I used to always look at where my fingers were. All right, I used to follow my fingers. So to go from this C to this E flat, I would follow with my eye like this. All right, until I watched lessons from SBL, so Scott Devine, and he suggested to, instead of following your finger, look at where you're gonna land. Look at the destination. So if I go, so once I put my finger on, once I play this C right here, already I look at where I'm going to land, which is the E flat right here. So I do C, C, look at the E flat, and then just go there. You don't need to follow the finger to know where you're gonna go. You just need to know the destination and just get there. So I'm looking, I'm on the C right here, but I'm looking at the E flat to just go get there, and then the same thing to go back. All right, so as I'm on the E flat, I'm already looking at the C here to get back to it. Right, so I had to practice this over and over, and there are practices, there are things to practice to be able to do this, and I'm going to show you actually some of some things that I've been doing to practice this. All right, so that was number one. Number two, stay on time. I tend to go faster than the actual tempo. There are very specific things that we can do to practice that as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is go on the Scott Bass Lesson website and show you how I use a tool called the Groove Trainer to practice timing. Okay, so once I get to the website, I go on right here on the Groove Trainer. Click here, Groove Trainer, and this is what I see. Now I'm going to set my practice tempo, my BPM at 118, and it's a 4/4. That's good. So now you can hear the metronome. I can start training. All right, so I think that I can do. But what I love about this tool is right here, you have internal rhythm training. So once you click here, you can choose how many bars you want on and how many bars you want off. So let's start with 1 bar on. Actually, let's have 2 bars on and 1 bar off. So the thing is that while it's off, I have to keep the timing, and I'm gonna know right away when the beat comes back on. All right, so let's try it. That was okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Oops. All right, so this went pretty well. I'm happy with myself. It wasn't like that when I first started. Now let's make it a bit more complicated by having 2 bars on and 2 bars off this time. So I'm gonna be a little bit longer without the metronome. Yeah. Yes, that was nice. All right, so yeah, so that's the groove trainer. That's how I love to use the internal rhythm training. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you in regards to how I practice timing. If you have access to a tool like that, I strongly encourage you to use it. If you don't, at least try to practice with a metronome. It's strongly suggested. If you have trouble keeping the tempos, one trick is to slow down the tempo, practice at a lower pace, and then gradually bring up the tempo to what it should be. So that's it. I still have a week left to practice because next week is when I'm going to release my bass cover for this great mashup that was performed by Pomplamoose. And I hope you're gonna like it. I know I'm gonna have a lot of fun. See you next week.